next is Barry Stahl with how the Fediverse could save democracy and why it probably won't.
Hi, I'm Barry Stahl. I'm a solution architect and developer based in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm very cold right now, so thank you for your weather here. I often describe myself as the kind of person who keeps a list of his favorite physicists and favorite mathematicians. It kind of tells you a lot about me. But I think it's actually really important because these are the giants on whose shoulders we stand. And we can do what we do because of them and because we have access to the information that they were able to create, that they were able to find out, and to understand what they did with their things. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. I want to talk about the democratization of information. And the tool that I think is very important for this is called the Fediverse, the Federated Universe. This is a group of social applications that communicate using a protocol called ActivityPub and its companion activity streams. We'll talk about that in a minute. These tools have no centralized control. There's actually many decentralized servers all over the place. Anybody can set one up. And so they're not under corporate control, meaning they're not at the whim of some petulant tech bro. And they can't be sold, right? It's also designed to be very easy to change instances. So if you don't like the server you're on, you can go to another one and you can bring both your data and your social graph with you. And that's super important. Before we get into details on those, let's talk about ActivityPub for just a second because it's so cool. ActivityPub is a data format that describes messages in the form of this actor did this thing to this entity. And if you think about that, that is just about everything we deal with. So anything can be described this way, and it's a W3C standard, so we can use it for anything we want. In fact, I am building line of business applications right now where that is the core messaging framework. It doesn't have to be public, but of course we get the most utility out of it when it is public, and there are a lot of tools out there, open source tools that are available today that we can use that leverage these tools. And most of these are implementations of things that we are familiar with. So we have Mastodon is probably the one that most people are familiar with. That's a replacement for, well, that's what Twitter once was, right? But PixelFed has been in the news the last couple of days. In fact, it's the #1 app on both the Apple and Android app stores right now. And that is a replacement for Instagram, or as a lot of the media is pointing out, for TikTok. And there's just about everything else we can. Lemmy is a Reddit clone, if you will. Friendica is like Facebook. So there are tools out there for just about everything we do socially, using these open standards that we can move around and we can leverage and all communicate with each other. But adoption isn't quite where we want it to be yet. These are social applications, so network effects are important. And right now, many or maybe even most thought leaders, especially in technology, have a presence there, many cross-post, but it's still very tech-heavy. One thing it's really good at is being somewhat of a haven for underserved communities. Because each instance has its own moderation policies, its own policies in general, it can be set up, there's always a place you can go. You can even set up your own server with your own policies if that's what you decide to do. So it can create a safe space for people where none other exists. But there are higher barriers to entry at this point. These are things that we're working on. So as I mentioned in the title, this could save democracy, or at least it could help. There's no algorithm with these things other than chronological order. So that means there's no incentive to be evil. There's no advantage to being extreme. You're not going to get better engagement because you're well, I'll just leave it at beep. They're also not corporate controlled. So as I mentioned, they can't be sold. There's no universal policies. So set one up if you need to, or use one that's there that fits your needs. There will always be an instance that serves your purposes. But there's a lot of challenges involved still. Inertia is the hardest one. It is really hard to get a group of people to do anything together. We have to pick some locks to make that happen, right? We want to be there. We want to create that network effect. So we have to overcome this inertia. We also have to deal with the fact that open source is just a hobby for most people. So we have work to do. So here's what I would ask of you. If you're not on the Fediverse today, sign up for Mastodon right now. Go to the Fediverse, use these tools. You can sign up on anything you want, but get on Mastodon and start using it. Subscribe to people's feeds, subscribe to hashtags, and just be there, even if you're just cross-posting at this point. Be there so when others look and when others say, is this something that I want to use? They see us there, and those network effects can happen. And then, of course, we're technologists, so we can contribute. So what I want to leave you with is the fact that the Fediverse offers us a promising path to a more centralized digital world. There are challenges that definitely exist here, but that's up to us. We have the power to shape that future. So let's engage, contribute, and create a digital landscape that aligns with our values, not that of the petulant billionaires. Thank you.
Thank you.